Oh, how good does that look? Oh wow, this is going to be a cracker. A bit of a different one, this one, where it's all about camp oven cooking. And I'm going to show you how to use your camp oven, from your little ones, mid-size, and up to the big ones. So tonight's menu, and a bit of a special occasion for Dad's 75th birthday. We're out here at Brother Paul's place, out in Yaboona. We've got the fire cranked up. Paul's been busy, and Dad cutting plenty of firewood for plenty of coals to get the camp ovens going, and cooking a special birthday cake. Then we're going to have beef stew, bit of a beef curry stew, peach crumble in the other camp oven for dessert, and a bit of custard and a bit of popcorn for the kiddies. So all the nephews are coming over a little bit later, so we'll get these camp ovens preheated and we'll get them on the go. And stay tuned, and I'll show you how you can use them to cook your breakfast as well. Who would have thought camp ovens are so versatile? You can use them for anything when you're out in the bush or anywhere camping, and you've got an amazing fire with heaps of coals. So I've just pulled all the camp ovens out of the shed yesterday. There's normally only one that we use regularly, and that's that big one in the middle. It's pretty good, all round, all purpose. You can cook just about anything in that. But for cooking cakes and everything, I use the bigger one. And because they haven't been used for a while, I don't know what we're going to find in here. It could be very untidy. With a bit of good care and keeping your camp ovens clean and seasoned, they're ready for use again next time. Just a quick wipe out and they're ready to go. Then the other one down here, got the little one. It's handy, you can cook a small roast in there. It's a little bit untidy, like it's been sitting around for 2 years in the shed at home and hasn't been used. And then you've got the little one which comes in handy for a bit of rice, your peas, a few veggies, that type of thing. But you can use them for anything. All depends on how many people you're catering for. So I think tonight for Dad's catch up, we're going to have about 12 or 15 people here. Between the camp ovens, we'll feed everybody, and there'll be leftovers for us to take home with us as well for next week. So how good is that? So with the care of your camp oven, after you've seasoned them from the shop and follow manufacturer's instructions, I suppose you call it, on how to season them the first time around, get them really hot and oil it, and do that a couple of times, and that seasons the metal so you don't get all the black stuff leaching out and contaminating your food. But what I do normally after all that, cook in it, give it a light oil before you cook. Always use a trivet for this sort of thing. If you're sitting a roast or a cake or anything on there, cake will go in the tin, keeps it just off the bottom, because all that, your heat sitting on your coals, that'll burn anything to a crisp that's sitting straight on the base of your camp oven. You don't want that. So always use a trivet for that type of thing, or cooking a roast. If you're cooking a stew, just take the trivet out and then you cook your stew in there. Give it a good clean out once you're done. Never ever use detergent in your camp oven. I've done it once or twice when they were real bad, but as soon as you do, it sort of degreases your camp oven, and then you've got to re-season them. So to avoid that, I normally just half fill them with water, put the lid back on, sit them back on the coals and let it simmer away or boil away for half an hour or so. And usually that's enough. With a bit of a scrub, with a scrubbing brush or that type of thing, just gets rid of any gunk, leaves a thin coating of oil on there again. You can wipe it out with a bit of paper towel, bit of spray oil, and put the lid back on, or just leave the lid ajar a little bit just to let any moisture out of there. You don't want moisture in there creating any rust if there is any bare patches of metal. But usually you can put the lid on and store them like that, well, obviously a couple of years, and they're good to go for the next time you use them, with minimal work to clean them out, and they're ready to cook on again. So we'll get these on the go and ready to sit on the coals, get a cake going for Dad's birthday. And you might have seen it in some of our past videos as well. To save on coals, if you don't have a lot of firewood and a lot of coals, you can double stack them. So when you get your camp oven set up, you'll have coals on the bottom with everything preheated, so all the metal's hot to start with. Otherwise, you lose all the heat out of your coals straight away. Then you'll have more coals on the lid. You can sit your next camp oven on top. So it's heating the lid of that one, plus it's heating the base of that one. Then you put more coals on top of that one, and you can go again with your next camp oven. I've done that before, 4 or 5 stacked high. As long as you don't have something in the bottom that you need to keep getting to, and keep checking the temperature. You don't want to have to keep pulling those off and disturbing your coals. So to be preheating your camp oven, you're basically loading it up with coals, top and bottom, to get everything nice and hot. You want to preheat, same as if you were preheating your oven at home. Get all that heat in there and get the ground hot as well, because if you're putting all your good coals straight on cold ground, ready to start cooking your roast or your stew or whatever within 10 minutes, or your heat's going to be gone out of those coals on the bottom. So you preheat the ground as well. Little tip there. Sometimes if it's wet or the ground's really cold, I've put a bit of alfoil down with the shiny side up. It reflects the heat back up onto your camp oven as well. Little tip. So what we're going to do here is just to stack them up to show you how you can stack them to preheat everything and get them all hot at once, because it's going to suck all the heat out of these coals to heat all your cast iron camp ovens. So we'll load them all up now, get them hot. Makes it easier just to give them that bit of a wipe out with some oil as well, and then they're ready for cooking on. And look at all those coals. You only need a longer handle on the shovel. There's that much heat coming out of there. And the little one on top. There we go. A little bit more on the top of the little one. And that is now preheating all your camp ovens in one go. One thing I will say, working around a fire, you need to be very careful of the hot coals and make sure you're always wearing approved footwear. Do as I say, don't do as I do, as they say, I think. While I've been busy slaving around the fire, Mandy has found a new friend. Meet Millie. Hello. So we've got Brownie and Goldie, and now we've got Millie, a new dog to take home with us. Hey Ryan. I don't think Ryan will let us take Millie home. Bit of a meet and greet going on over here. Who's that? Who's that? Here we go. A real life sausage dog. They're not pretend.
They're not pretend.
Sorry, Brownie. Oop. Millie. Millie. Hello. Hello. So on the menu today, we're going to have hot dogs. Oh no, sorry Millie, we're not having hot dogs. You can go. Bit of carrot cake for Dad's birthday cake. We'll whip that up and we'll get her in the camp oven. Read the instructions. Why do they make this writing so small? Oh, that's better. Preheat. Number 1, we've done that. Number 2, place everything in our temporary mixing bowl. Saves carrying extra stuff with you in the caravan. Bit of this, bit of that. We'll chuck all that in and mix her up. And we need 1 egg. Oh, we forgot to bring the eggs. I know where they are. Hello girls. Can I steal 1 egg? Thank you girls. Here we go. Farm fresh. That's all done and ready to go in the oven. I just want to make sure there's enough heat but not too hot for a cake. I reckon we can put it in, just a few more coals underneath and a couple more on top. Give it about half hour, 40 minutes and it should be ready. So that's plenty for the bottom. Don't want too many or it will be crispy on the bottom. That is how you cook a cake in your camp oven. As long as it's not too hot, I will check the heat on that again in about 5 minutes. There's a lot of heat in that wood. Good iron bark timber, lots of heat out of the coals, so you can easily burn anything that's inside your camp oven. So just a quick check of the heat. We can see a bit of smoke coming out the edge, so there's definitely enough heat from the bottom. Might just give it a touch on the top, because that cool air, it's starting to cool down. Even that sucks the heat out of your coals, because we don't want to burn it, but you want enough heat in there to cook. I think it said on the packet about 180 degrees, so at a guess, yeah, 180. So while the cake's cooking, we're going to clean up the other oven that's already 90% preheated, get it ready to go for the stew. It's sitting on a good bed of coals. All those coals on top be mostly cold. Cooking a stew, you don't want much heat or any heat on top of your stew. It's all coming from the bottom and just simmering away. But to put the beef in to start with, you want good heat on the bottom so it can really sizzle and seal it off before you start adding all your curries and liquids and everything else. To get it ready for cooking, just a dribble of oil, Give her a good wipe out, because last time we cooked in this was a couple of weeks ago out at Warwick. So it should be fairly clean after a good clean up once we're finished with it. Just want to make sure that it's nice, especially for a stew. You don't want any grit or anything in there. Make sure that top edge is nice and clean so nothing falls in. And that is a nice clean camp oven ready for cooking in. How much? So a bit of curry in there, a bit of the old Keen's curry powder. Under Mandy's direction here, Chef Mandy, so I don't muck it up. That's smelling good already. Onions going in. I can smell the cake. We'll just quickly check it. Look at that. There's definitely some heat in there. That's done. A little bit crispy. We'll hide that with the icing. We'll leave that camp oven right where it sits, because that's going to have garlic bread in it. It's moister than an oyster. Putting all that cold stuff in the camp oven just draws the heat out of your coals. We're going to need some more on there, especially once we put the stock in. It's going to lose all that heat. We still want the sizzle there at the time being. Right, we'll just lift that off, chuck a few more coals on. That's a go. Get a bit more heat in there. You just want to start the cooking process on that. We'll add a few extras and then add some liquid. Bit of mince. So that's enough meat in there, I think, for a roadkill stew. We just want to sort of brown all that off. So the beef itself on the bottom, just a bit of chuck steak, diced up. The sausages are starting to brown. Just want to brown that mince a little bit. With that curry powder, we'll add some mushroom stock, get some liquid in there and just let it simmer away. Pepper. So, tin taters. They are so good in a stew or anything. I just realised they make a mushroom stock. That's a whole 1 litre of stock. And we just want to keep that heat in for a bit. We'll go and organise a couple other things. We're going to put some mushrooms in, stir it all up. I'm going to add the secret ingredient. If anybody that's watched our previous videos should know what the secret ingredient is by now. I've just had all the little helpers show up. All the nephews are here now, so we've got the whole family here. Hopefully, what's in this camp oven is going to feed all of us. Apart from a few that don't like mushrooms. You like mushrooms, Bo? No. The secret ingredient, the French onion soup mix. And then just a packet mix beef stroganoff. And then the last secret ingredient, a cup of barley. I love me barley. And that is what we're going to call roadkill stew. Give that a real good stir up now. Put the lid on, make sure it's simmering. And just let it sit for a couple of hours. Now because we've put all those cold ingredients in there, we've lost all our heat again. One more shovelful of coals and that should get it cooking. You just want to stir that again once that heat's through before we drop the lid on, and then we'll leave it sit. Start to see a bit of steam coming off it there now, so that's as hot as we want it to be. Drop the lid on and that'll be simmering in 5 minutes without being too hot on the bottom. So it burns and sticks to the bottom, and that is pretty much dinner done. Who'd like to sing a little song?
No, you get over there.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dad. Happy birthday to you. Hip hip. Hooray! Hip hip. Hooray! Hip hip. Hooray! Happy 75th.
It'd be the only 75th I have.
That's right. You'll have to blow them out, Dad.
Oh, huffing and puffing.
Yay!
Still a bit of puff left in me.
Good job,
Thank
Brad.
you, thank you.
Oh. No, he gave them to me
Oh,
years
yeah.
ago.
Hang on a minute. Where do you want to cut it? Straight across the middle?
Anyway, for something to nibble on.
Because the nearest Betting
Yeah, it
the
might
dog.
take a bit of cutting across the bottom. You might need a handsaw. Well, it got dark quick this afternoon. The clouds come over, the rain come in, and it's been showering all afternoon. Trying to camp oven cook with showers of rain isn't much fun, and it just dampens your coals really quick. I'll show you what we're up to here now. Got the big camp oven, she's preheated. We're gonna cook some garlic bread in there, which is quick and easy. Nice little bit of heat in there. Perfect for the kiddies, or as a bit of bread to dip in your beef stew. The next one we're gonna do is, we've got this little one here with some water in there, boiling away. We're going to cook some rice in that one. We'll bring that back to the boil and then just cover it and simmer it. And that is your dinner done. Righto. Now, the rice is nearly boiling again. So we'll drop the lid on that and just let it simmer away until the water has all evaporated. So, stew in the big one. Garlic bread to dip in your stew and a bit of rice with it. That's how you use your camp ovens, and you can stack them up on top of each other if you don't have them out in the coals like we've got here. We'll show you the finished product shortly. Last little ingredient for the stew before it's 100% done, just a bit of coconut cream. That's alright. Some of them got a bit of water in there, you don't want all that water. Just gives it that nice creamy texture. Right. Well guys, the masterpiece is nearly done. I'm going to lift the lid and show you what we've got here. I'm going to get Jacob to hold the camera for me. I'll turn my light on so we can see what's in there. So the beef stew. Beef stew number one. Look at that. Beef stew, that's done and ready. We've got this camp oven just sitting there preheating, using the coals underneath. So we'll sit that over there because that's what the crumble is going to go in very shortly. In this one, we have garlic bread. Garlic bread's done. It's just nice and toasty on top. And then the little one, we have got the rice. And the rice should be done. Oh, look at that. Perfect. So there you go. A 3-course meal, 3 camp ovens on the go to feed about 12 people, 15 people. All cooked on the coals, on the fire, and it's going to be delicious. So we'll leave it at that, and we're going to go and eat. And we'll catch us up for the apple crumble. And don't go anywhere, because the popcorn's coming yet too for the kiddies.
Yes.
Yes.
Yay.
Who wants popcorn?
Shout up, yeah. I do.
I haven't cooked popcorn in the camp oven for a long time, so we'll see how that goes.
And
but I'm sure it'll be half as good as what
lid.
this is. Here comes the crumble, peach crumble. About to go in the camp oven. Let's lift the lid and get her in. Now it might be a little bit squeezy in this camp oven. There we go. Crumble is going in. It's a bit of a tight fit. Hopefully we can get it back out of there. Drop the lid on and it can just sit there cooking nice and slow while we're enjoying a bit of family time and a bit of stew. Thanks to Chef Mandy. Well, the weather's definitely turned it on a bit for us this afternoon or tonight, trying to camp oven cook, and it's been showering off and on for the last couple of hours. Just gonna lift the lid on this last camp oven, now that the rain's starting to get a bit heavier, and show you how good it is when you have a professional chef, Mandy, put together a peach crumble. Guys, how good does that look? How good does that look? Hey? Ah, really? It's been that sort of afternoon with all the weather and the showers of rain. It's been so good sitting around the fire. But now we've got to kick back with a bit of custard on this peach crumble and just really enjoy that. What do you reckon, Fraser?
I think delicious.
Yes. So that just leaves one more thing to cook in the camp oven on the hot coals, a bit of popcorn. We'll throw that in right now and then that'll be us for tonight. So we've got to get it cooked before it rains again.
Yeah!
Oh!
You better throw it in.
No, yeah.
Tip it, tip it, tip it, tip it.
Tip it all in right now.
That'll do, that'll do.
Oh, you're
Okay.
gonna be going.
That's it.
Bit of action here. Cooking the popcorn in the camp oven on the hot coals from the hot fire. Just wait for this. See if you can hear it. The last one's only took a couple of seconds.
And then popped. Oh!
There we go.
Just wait.
Yep.
Whoa.
Whoa. Ding! Oh, I smell popcorn! Oh, that's fun. Terrible. Pass it with the...
Here in his hand.
Oh!
Wow!
Oh! Hey, it's still popping. There you go. Popcorn in the camp oven around the fire. And that ends our night around the fire. We'll catch us all tomorrow morning. Well guys, the next morning it's time to clean up the camp ovens. I've already done the other three. Just one to go. I'll quickly run through how I go about it. So you're normally left with a mess in your camp oven. Give that a wipe out. Bit of hot water, get the brush in there. Like I said earlier, no dishwashing detergent in there or you'll degrease it and your camp oven will go rusty and you'll have to re-season it. So that's basically it. This is an real old camp oven that never had the lip on the lid. So all I've done is just got a bit of flat steel, welded it into a ring and it sits there, holds your coals on top, stops them rolling off. Works really good. Anyway, we'll get it cleaned up. Always give the lid a bit of a scrub as well because all that steam and whatever condensation from your cooking will get on there. That's good enough. Give this one a really good scrub. Get all the stuff off the sides and that's pretty much it. That's all we need to do. I can tip that water out. Give her a wipe out for some more towel. And that's ready to cook in again if you're going to. But if you're going to store it, I'd normally just put a dribble of oil in there or a bit of spray oil, wipe it all over so that nothing can rust, including on your trivet. And then you do want to leave it open, not fully closed and sealed, till it's 100% dry inside. You don't want any condensation getting inside and rusting it while it's in storage. But that's basically how to clean your camp oven. Another way, not an ideal way, but another way you can use your camp oven is to use the lid like a barbecue plate. So you're going to place it upside down on a hot bed of coals or on a grill or something over the fire, and that's perfect for cooking your pancakes, your bacon and eggs. So we're going to give that a go this morning. We don't normally do it because it's so easy to use the butane cooker, but we'll show you how to go about it. The same as if you were using your camp oven, you want to preheat those, or a barbie plate or anything like that. Probably have to put a few more coals under those before we're ready to cook, and we'll get into it. Alright, I think they're nearly hot enough to cook on. You see a bit of steam coming off them. Now we've got buttermilk and blueberry. I'll stick those on the big one. And on the other one, I'll show you how to do bacon and eggs. How good. Perfect. Look at that. Let's see if all those nephews come back over for blueberry pancakes, maple syrup, ice cream and a bit of icing sugar. The bacon and eggs are done. Look at that. On the camp oven lid. I'll whip these up. Going all out here, even with a bit of vanilla bean ice cream. Bit of maple syrup. And a bit of icing sugar. Now how does that look for a bush breakfast? Camping in the bush, doing it so tough, roughing it, glamping. There you are, Dad. Birthday boy.
Thank you, thank you.
Might Oh, that's a breakfast. Bacon, eggs and pancake. Well, there you go, guys. Hopefully you got some useless or useful information out of that on how to prepare, cook in and use your camp oven and maintain it and clean it. Working around the fire with the coals, it is hot, hard work sometimes, but it's a lot of reward for a little bit of effort. Out of a few camp ovens like that, we fed about 14 or 15 people there easy last night, just out of the one big camp oven with the stew in it. And then we had all the other stuff going on, a very tasty meal. And then this morning, to utilise the lids as well as a barbecue plate, something a little bit out of the ordinary that you wouldn't do very often, but it is doable if you forget the barbie plate or don't have any other options. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Going to end it here. I'm going to go and have a coffee and sit down and relax a little bit. I'm a bit full after all this eating in the last 24 hours. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, give us a like and subscribe to our channel to follow all our future adventures. Stay safe, guys, and we'll see you soon on the next Brandyscape adventure. If you'd like to see more of our videos, please check these out that are on the screen now. All our past 30 odd videos. You're enjoying.